What's up everyone and welcome back to the MMA Buzz. Kamaru Usman and Ariel Helwani have suddenly found themselves in a heated back and forth, and the situation is escalating quickly. The tension began when Ariel criticized the idea of Usman getting a title shot against Islam Makhachev, calling it a complete travesty. He argued that the only reason Usman is even being discussed for a title opportunity is because of his manager, Ali Abdelaziz, working behind the scenes, rather than anything Usman has recently accomplished in the cage. To be fair, Usman is coming off an impressive win over Joaquin Buckley, a fighter who had been on a strong run and looked almost unstoppable before their matchup. That victory, paired with Usman's elite resume, has led many fans to believe he deserves to re-enter the title picture. Still, most people feel the welterweight division is too stacked at the moment, suggesting he may need one more big win before leaping back into contention. However, when Usman and Henry Cejudo addressed Ariel's comments on their podcast, things got personal. Usman argued that Ariel isn't qualified to determine who deserves a title shot. He questioned why professional fighters should continue appearing on shows hosted by people he views as nothing more than media personalities. Usman said that real journalists talk to fighters before events and build credible stories, while others simply give opinions to stay relevant. He emphasized that he doesn't talk about Ariel and doesn't care to, yet Ariel continues talking about him because, in Usman's words, he is the big dog, the sheriff in town. According to Usman, that is why his name is always in the headlines, because he is the one who draws attention. Before moving on to the next news, we have a quick request for you. We're always working to improve our content and truly value your support. If you could take a moment to leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon, it would mean a lot to us. That way, you'll never miss an update. Move on to another news. Ariel Helwani later fired back at Kamaru Usman, and it was clear this response came from years of unresolved tension. Their history goes back to the days when Usman was champion. At that time, his manager, Ali Abdelaziz, banned ESPN from interviewing any of his fighters, calling it personal and accusing Helwani of unfairly targeting his champions. Usman never spoke publicly about it, but he supported the stance, and the friction between both sides never disappeared. There were other moments that added fuel to the fire, such as Helwani's 2023 interview with Dricus du Plessis, where he asked provocative questions about African identity and Usman's comment. Usman's team took issue with that as well, widening the divide even further. All of this tension has built up over the years, and now Helwani has finally pushed back openly. He directly called out what he described as hypocrisy and revisionist history, pointing out how Usman benefited from Abdelaziz's influence within the UFC while accusing the media of bias. Helwani argued that fighters celebrate media coverage when it aligns with their goals, but when rankings or opinions don't go their way, suddenly the media becomes unqualified. He reminded viewers that fighters don't invite journalists to events, reporters apply for credentials, and the promotion decides approval. He noted that he hasn't applied for a credential since March 2020, yet fighters continue weaponizing that talking point simply to take shots at him. Helwani said it's obvious he struck a nerve. Usman is 1-3 since 2021, earning just one win in June, and all Helwani did was say that such a resume doesn't justify a title shot. He emphasized that he never called Usman a bum or dismissed his career. He simply gave an honest assessment, and it triggered a backlash because it interferes with the narrative Usman wants the public to believe. Move on to another news. An unexpected twist emerged when Michael Bisping delivered sharp criticism toward Tom Aspinall, something that caught many fans off guard. For weeks, Bisping had been one of Aspinall's strongest defenders in the eye poke controversy. Their shared English background and Bisping's own history with severe eye injuries made his support understandable. But suddenly, Bisping shifted direction and called out Aspinall for mishandling the situation. According to Bisping, Aspinall has been overwhelming social media with updates, videos from doctors' visits, medical scans, and detailed reports about the injury. Tom has been documenting every step to prove that the eye poke was real, that the damage was legitimate, and that he didn't quit. Bisping believes this constant stream of content is having the opposite effect, giving the controversy more attention, and making it seem like Aspinall is trying too hard to convince the public. Instead of presenting himself like a heavyweight champion moving forward, he appears caught in the narrative. Coming from Bisping, a man who fought half his career with one functioning eye, the criticism carries significant weight. Both Bisping and Paul Felder advised Aspinall to stop feeding into the doubt and move on. They believe this is not the type of messaging fans want from the heavyweight champion of the world. Bisping argued that showing frustration, determination, and a readiness to return would resonate more than repeated medical updates. Fans want a champion who says, "This situation pisses me off, but I'm pushing forward. I'm on my doctor's case every day asking when I can fight." Bisping added that while the hate and accusations are tough to deal with, especially for a champion being called a quitter, Aspinall needs to refocus, heal, and let his work speak for itself. He suggested that if Tom wants to embrace the villain role, he should do it confidently. Train hard, return to the octagon, knock out the next contender, grab the microphone, and talk his talk. If he performs like that, Bisping believes fans will embrace the tougher, unapologetic version of Tom Aspinall. Move on to another news. Sean O'Malley recently reacted to the ongoing Ilia Topuria divorce situation, and the news that Topuria's personal issues have forced him out of action until spring 2026. Meanwhile, O'Malley is preparing to face Song Yadong at UFC 324. On his podcast, he laughed about being placed third on the card, joking that he's falling off hard, and that the next step might be getting bumped to the prelims. Despite the humor, this is one of the most crucial fights of O'Malley's career. He enters UFC 324 on the first two-fight losing streak of his UFC run. If he suffers another loss, a move up to featherweight becomes almost inevitable, something he has discussed for years. Stylistically, Song Yadong presents the perfect test. Powerful, compact, aggressive, but defensively vulnerable. On paper, it's a matchup O'Malley should win if he's still operating at an elite level. His reach, timing, counters, and movement all align well against Yadong's explosive but hittable style. However, even if O'Malley delivers a strong performance, it's difficult to imagine the UFC granting him a third shot at Merab Dvalishvili. The division has moved forward, contenders are stacking up, and O'Malley's long-term future at bantamweight remains uncertain. For him, this fight is more than just another bout on a stacked card. It's a chance to prove he belongs among the elite and to determine which weight class defines the next chapter of his career. O'Malley also spoke candidly about Topuria's personal turmoil. He reacted to the reports that Topuria is going through a divorce, with his wife allegedly seeking half of everything. O'Malley expressed sympathy, saying the situation sucks, especially because everything is unfolding publicly. He mentioned that he's faced difficult moments in his own life, but unlike Topuria, he didn't have to deal with the added pressure of public scrutiny. O'Malley noted that dealing with this type of emotional stress is the last thing any fighter wants to handle during training camp. He referenced rumors that Topuria had been messaging other women, adding that even innocent conversations can be twisted when someone is married. O'Malley emphasized that he genuinely feels bad for Ilia, especially because children are involved, which makes the ordeal significantly harder. Move on to another news. Charles Oliveira has made it clear that he is hoping Justin Gaethje defeats Paddy Pimblett in their upcoming matchup. Oliveira broke down the fight by explaining how he expects Pimblett to approach the challenge. According to him, Paddy's most realistic game plan will be to take the fight to the ground rather than engage in prolonged striking exchanges. Oliveira acknowledged that Pimblett is a well-rounded fighter. He strikes effectively on the feet, mixes in unpredictable movement, and has a strong ability to transition the fight to the mat. But despite that versatility, Oliveira believes Paddy would be taking a major risk if he chooses to stand and trade with Gaethje. He emphasized that Justin Gaethje remains one of the toughest and most dangerous strikers in the division. Gaethje's pressure, durability, and knockout power make him a nightmare for anyone willing to test him in a striking battle. However, Oliveira also pointed out Gaethje's long-known vulnerability, his ground game. While Gaethje has improved over the years, his defensive grappling remains an area fighters can exploit. Because of that, Oliveira expects Pimblett to rely heavily on takedowns. He believes that if Paddy commits to grappling early and avoids getting into wild exchanges, he has a legitimate chance to win and potentially become champion. But if he chooses to stand in front of Gaethje and trade punches, Oliveira feels the result is almost guaranteed. Paddy would likely get knocked out. Despite breaking down the advantages Pimblett may have on the ground, Oliveira made it clear where his loyalty lies. He openly admitted that he hopes Justin Gaethje emerges victorious. Oliveira has immense respect for Gaethje's toughness, his ability to push forward regardless of damage, and the excitement he brings to every fight. Even though he recognizes the strategic paths available to Pimblett, his personal preference is to see Gaethje get his hand raised. In Oliveira's eyes, this matchup is a classic contrast in styles. Gaethje's elite striking and relentless pressure against Pimblett's grappling heavy movement-based approach. Ultimately, Oliveira believes the fight will come down to whether Paddy attempts to stand with Gaethje or stays disciplined enough to avoid Gaethje's power. But even with all of that considered, Oliveira concluded with a simple wish. He wants Justin Gaethje to win. Move on to another news. Sean O'Malley recently addressed Ilia Topuria's situation and expressed sympathy for the personal issues that have forced the featherweight champion out of competition. O'Malley revealed that he understands completely why Ilia has chosen not to fight right now, especially given the severity of what he is dealing with at home. According to Sean, he has heard that Ilia's wife is allegedly trying to take 50% of his earnings as part of their divorce, a situation he described as incredibly difficult and emotionally draining. O'Malley emphasized how unfortunate it is that the entire matter has become public. He explained that going through a divorce is already painful on its own, but having the world watch it unfold makes the situation significantly worse. Sean compared it to his own past struggles, saying he has dealt with tough personal moments too, just not in front of millions of people. That privacy, he said, made all the difference. When discussing Ilia's withdrawal from competition, O'Malley clarified that this is exactly why the champion hasn't booked a fight. Ilia himself stated that he is dealing with personal issues, and based on the rumors circulating online, O'Malley noted that Ilia was allegedly messaging other women, which fueled even more drama. Sean joked that when you're married, you can't even say he without someone twisting it into something else. He said he doesn't fully understand the situation, but he genuinely feels for Ilia. The part that makes the situation even heavier, O'Malley added, is that Ilia has 2 children. When kids are involved, everything becomes more emotional, more complicated, and more painful. Sean stressed that the presence of children is what makes this kind of situation truly hard to navigate, both personally and professionally. Despite all the controversy, O'Malley said he really wanted to see Ilia fight Paddy Pimblett. That was the matchup he was most excited for. He also mentioned that Ilia versus Islam Makhachev was a dream matchup he hoped to see in the near future. But with everything happening in Ilia's life, those fights will have to wait. Sean concluded by saying that even though fans won't get those matchups right now, it's okay. Ilia needs to focus on his life, his family, and resolving the issues that matter most. Move on to another news. Veteran fighter Tony Ferguson has made a notable prediction publicly favoring Paddy Pimblett to secure a victory over Justin Gaethje in their rumored matchup at UFC 324. Ferguson's insight is drawn from his unique perspective, having shared the octagon with both competitors. In 2020, Ferguson suffered a devastating 5th-round TKO loss to Gaethje, a defeat that initiated his current 8-fight losing streak in mixed martial arts. More recently, in 2023, he faced Pimblett and lost by unanimous decision, marking his second-to-last appearance in the UFC. Offering his analysis during an interview with Uncrowned, Ferguson acknowledged the skill level of both men, but pointed to a crucial disparity in motivation as the deciding factor. He stated, "Paddy's not bad, dude. He's very beatable, and Gaethje is very beatable as well. But when it comes to the passion, man, how exciting Justin Gaethje has always been about not getting that real title shot. They just keep dangling it right there." Ferguson elaborated on his reasoning, highlighting Pimblett's fresher ambition compared to Gaethje's repeated title shot pursuit. Paddy's in for a new treat. Paddy's the one who's never fought for a belt. He's going in there to try to get that, and he's going to feel a little bit fresher. He's going to have that excitement, in my opinion. Ultimately, Ferguson's prediction hinges on the hunger for a first title opportunity. So if I were going to try to place a bet, I would go with the new kid that's going in for the new opportunity rather than the old kid who fought for the belt. It's going to go to Paddy, but best of luck for both of them. I hope they knock each other out. This unexpected endorsement from a figure who has directly experienced the power and pressure of both Gaethje and Pimblett adds another intriguing layer to the anticipation building around the potential UFC 324 clash, which has also been noted by other fighters, such as Bilal Muhammad posting a video reacting to the news. Move on to another news. Bilal Muhammad recently addressed his loss to Ian Gary via a video posted to his YouTube channel, offering a candid reflection on the fight's outcome and the factors he believes were decisive. Muhammad firmly stated that repeated eye pokes played a major role in his defeat and emphasized the urgent need for changes in MMA rules to implement stricter repercussions for such fouls. Muhammad pointed out the issue directly. "We didn't see much. We got poked in the eye 3 times. What are you going to do, right?" He then went on to credit Gary for exploiting the current system, labeling it a smart approach to securing a win. "I said Ian was very smart at figuring out ways to win fights and understand how to win," Muhammad explained. And he understood poking an eye was going to win the fight, especially when you do it early, especially when you don't get points taken away from you. The rules need to be changed. There needs to be repercussions. Otherwise, guys, are sorry going to keep doing it. What's the point? Beyond the issue of fouls, Muhammad also analyzed his own in-cage strategy, acknowledging a need for quicker adjustments in shorter fights. He complimented Gary's technical skill, noting, "Ian was pretty smart. We knew he was going to be. He's very good with his distance management. We knew he's going to be sticking and moving." Muhammad expressed regret that the fight was scheduled for 3 rounds rather than 5, stating, "3-round fight, you got to start faster. You got to start earlier. You got to catch them earlier for me. We got to change that. We got to step on the gas sooner. I think by the 3rd round we figured out the distance. We figured out the style, but it was already too late. You got to do that sooner." Despite the loss and the frustration over the fouls, Muhammad maintained a forward-looking perspective, promising to use the experience for improvement. "Also for myself, man, we just got to get better. You grow from these things. You get better from losses, right? But you got to learn. You got to get back in the gym. And that's what we're going to do. Me and my team are going to watch it, get better, grow from it. But I still think we're one of the best in the world, and I can't wait to prove it, man."